Good morning everyone. This is Kaylin Kamikawa. Actually, it's a personal matter, but the computer I've been using for a long time broke yesterday. Sick. Even if you press the power button, it doesn't say, on, or, sun. The power supply part is useless, no longer. Actually, my personal computer with a tower-type desktop computer that I made myself at a place called PC Depot. I used to add HDDs myself or install some expansion boards later, but I was playing with it. I used the OS as Windows 8 Plus. You're tired of upgrading the OS, and you're no longer attracted to it. However, there is no choice but to buy a cheap laptop computer at this time. When I searched for a second-hand shop in the neighborhood, it was closed in August, so Shop Inverse Lingling store was doing a closing sale. When I looked inside the store thinking, I'm lucky, there were a lot of laptops. If you buy a new one at an ordinary electronics store, it will cost you 100,000 yen, usually 180,000 yen. But this shop sells from 20,000 to 30,000 yen among them. The one that I thought was good for second-hand goods was COSPA. With a personal computer called Lenovo ThinkPad X270, 2016 model. The specifications are CPU Core i7-7600U, 2800 MHz, memory 16 GB, SSD 512 GB, built-in wireless LAN, Windows 10, Home, without Office. I noticed that the total price was 45,500 yen including tax. About 5,000 yen cheaper than other products with the same specifications. It's about 8,000 yen cheaper at the closing sale, so a total of about 13,000 yen cheaper www. I thought, well, this is fine, and after thinking about it for a couple of hours, I bought it. By the way, I wanted to use wireless LAN, Wi-Fi, effectively, so-called air printer. This is also new and is in the 10,000 yen range, but the ink cost is high, isn't it? You can print air from this laptop or iPhone. I bought these two and was playing around with various settings to enjoy the wireless LAN, Wi-Fi. So, I could easily print air from this computer or iPhone. Also, the performance of this laptop computer itself is quick to start up with SSD. It is small and does not take up space. There is also one port for the micro SD card, which can be used instead of the HDD. There are also two USB ports, and you can use the one you used to use for the wireless mouse. HDMI also has one port, so connect to your TV with the HDMI cable you've been using. I'm very happy that it can be used on a large screen. I'm very satisfied, but by the way, between the iPhone and this Windows 10 laptop, is it possible to high-speed air transfer of photo and video files? I thought, but this was quite difficult. I also made a video about file transfer between iPhone and computer before. 1. Connect directly with the power cable, USB cable. 2. Connect using an IP address on the internet with an application such as Documents. 3. Save your iCloud drive and share it over the cloud for use. 4. Share and use iCloud photos via the cloud. I explained the above 4 types of usage. However, for 2, 3, and 4, the speed is slow. For transferring video files larger than 1 GB, it turned out to be useless. If it is a small file, there is no problem using the cloud. After all, I concluded that 1, directly connecting, is the most efficient. At that time, I couldn't try it because there was no wireless LAN, Wi-Fi, function on the PC side, so I thought so. This time, both wireless LAN, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth can be used on the PC side, so I was wondering, is it possible to transfer between iPhone and PC wirelessly and at high speed? About Bluetooth, between iPhone and Windows PC, I couldn't use it at all. Apparently between Windows 10 and Android, or Mac and iPhone, it seems that you can use something called AirDrop, using this Bluetooth. Unfortunately, it seems that this Bluetooth is still not available between Windows 10 and iPhone. Well, in Windows 11, maybe it can be used, but then, is it possible to transfer via wireless LAN, Wi-Fi? Actually, this was not straightforward either. Even if you try various things, it's kind of annoying, and in this case it's faster to connect directly. I wandered around the Apple Store and finally found a great app. It is an application called PhotoSync. When I looked it up, it was surprisingly a famous app in the area. Unfortunately, there is a charge, 100 yen per month. Maybe there is another app for free. Well, as I look for it one after another using this app, I finally realized the real thrill of Wi-Fi. To actually use, you need to install an app called PhotoSync on both your iPhone and PC. Also, in order to transfer, both iPhone and PC need to have this app running. However, in the case of a PC, if you start it automatically at startup with the minimum when the PC starts, I am not aware that PhotoSync is running. You can also set this auto minimize launch setting in the app settings. If you want to transfer files with, launch PhotoSync on your smartphone and specify any file in the camera roll. If you press the orange button on the upper right and specify the PC, picture, and PhotoSync on your computer, in just a few seconds it is automatically saved in the folder called. If you press and hold the orange button, you can also set it to automatically transfer to your PC. Even for a video, it only takes a few seconds, which is faster than a cable connection. We still need to investigate to actually show the detailed data. I think it's faster than any other method. You can truly enjoy the joy of Wi-Fi. The analog operation of connecting the cable is no longer necessary. www. Also, on the contrary, it is a transfer from PC to iPhone, on your PC, in the drag and drop area at the bottom right. If you drag the file with the mouse, after that, the forwarding destination will be detected automatically, so if you specify the iPhone, it is saved in the camera roll of the iPhone. However, here, in my case, a trouble occurred. The transfer destination cannot be detected forever. I contacted support by email about this and got a quick reply in a few hours. It was a translation of English, but thank you for your prompt and courteous response. As a result, the problem was quickly resolved. The cause is installing Virus Buster on the PC. It was because I had set up a firewall. However, this is a place called Firewall Exclusion Setting in Office Scan. I solved it just by specifying PhotoSync shortcut. With this, both transmission and reception are wireless LAN, Wi-Fi. Even if you do not use a cable, you can now transfer files at high speed. It feels very smart and modern. It's similar to how I felt when I got a wireless remote control car when I was a kid. The meaning of moving a car by wire is completely different from that of moving a car wirelessly. So, I was able to get satisfactory results with Wi-Fi transfer. I'm so happy with his used PC. What happens if I buy a new one? Also, when Windows 11 comes out, I'm wondering whether to update it from now on. Is it impossible to update the OS with this spec 5 years ago? Well, I don't have to, but in my case. That's all.